It was Julie Jackson. I remember it's the JJ. I'll tell you something. You said, I'm excited to be here. I haven't been here in 4 years. But you said 2, but you've been around for 4 years, right? And then COVID, and we all been. Gotta tell you something. And I met you. I don't think I met anybody else in this room, except for the Van Dyke people.
You met me?
Well, that was a shaking the hand outside there. And I'm gonna make a response to you not being here 2 years. I'm gonna speak for everybody in this room. We're happy to see you. There's every single person in this room is happy to see you after 2 years. Now, y'all can clap because you're pandering, I get that, but you know, I can tell you why I'm right. There's a woman named Brene Brown. See, I don't necessarily even look at what my presentation is. Y'all gonna get a copy of it, don't worry about it. You know who Brene Brown is? If you don't know who, anybody not know, who knows who Brene? Awesome, amazing, phenomenal woman out of Texas. She has a Netflix special on right now. If you're like looking to do a little Netflix and chill, just Netflix, forget the chill. All right, just go over there to Netflix one day and hit on Brene Brown, and it's just unbelievable stuff. I have an absolute professional crush on this woman, and one of the things. Why is that funny? Go talk to my wife and you'll understand why I said that. Okay, I said a professional crush on this woman. And one of the things she says, and she's a social scientist and she knows all this stuff, she says, we've all heard about our why, and right, and we've all heard of our Simon Sinek, and this is what the why. She goes, you might have your individual why and your individual why, but as a human being, as the human race, what our why is we are all neurologically wired to connect to other people. We are actually on planet Earth for one thing, to relate and connect to other people. And that is why I know that everybody is happy that you are here today and that you're happy to be here today, because amen, hallelujah, enough with this Zoom stuff. I gotta tell you something, to be able to see a group of people and do this live, I'm like, oh my God, I'm felling over here, okay? I mean, I'm really excited about this. So let's just set that up there. Now I'm gonna go, let's go to this. What's your name?
Debbie.
Hi Debbie, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm glad to hear it. Debbie, have you and I ever had a conversation a day in our lives? Not to my knowledge. Were we at a bar last night, Debbie? And like that, we down there last night. Who knows if I saw it? No, Debbie, we've never had a conversation. That's why I didn't pick on the person next to you, because I have had a conversation with her. But what that says to me, that I've never had a conversation with you, bottom line, Debbie, I know what I know. I don't know what you know, and I don't know what you don't know, so I don't know where you want me to go when I do that there show, you know? So we gotta make this like real conversational, Debbie. You understand what I'm saying? So it's what you want to talk about. And Debbie's like, well, that's a typical Thursday for me, you know? I'm looking to blow off everybody else. It's all about that. So when we think about what Debbie wants to get out of today's presentation, did you come here for a specific reason, or you're like, I heard there was lunch?
Not for lunch.
Not for lunch. You came here for me? So here's what I'll say to you. If you have any specific questions at any time during this, shout it out. I don't care about what's going up on the screen or anything like that. But I'll ask you this. I travel all over the country. I've spoken to over 350,000 mortgage and real estate professionals in every state in the United States of America. There's one word that describes more than any other word. I do this. What word would you say describes the market today? Debbie, what is that one word that I constantly hear?
Crazy.
By the way, Debbie, that was an awesome ventriloquist act. You threw your voice all the way over here. I'm not exactly sure who said, are you the one who said crazy? You got an assistant over there. But you said crazy, and the number one word is what? Crazy. But I'm not talking Patsy Cline crazy. I'm talking CeeLo Green crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely crazy. So let me show you just for a second how to deal with crazy. I'm not even on my presentation yet, right? Because I was listening as people were walking in, and I got to tell you, some of you weren't all that thrilled when you walked into this room. Some of you are like, it's crazy. Not like, it's crazy. It's like, it's crazy. Y'all know who Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is. Woman in the back with polka dots. What's your name?
Jody.
Jody, who's Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross?
Isn't she the gal that talks about grief?
5 stages of number, and I think we're all in that right now. I haven't talked about Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross since what? The bubble burst back in like 2008 when I was doing presentations. She's back. Because when I look at this, people, first stage is what? Denial. Oh, it's not going to affect us here, man. We're Keller. We're Keller Williams. We're above that. Okay, well, there goes denial because we're all faced with it right now, right here. Second thing is anger. Sucks. Why is this happening to me? I've been doing it, right? I'm not the one who caused these problems. And what I'm watching right now, get out of this game right now, I'm hearing a lot of blame. Oh, it's this political party, it's that political party, it's what's going on overseas. Anger, get past your anger, get past your blame. And after you go through your anger, where's the next one you're gonna go to? That's your bargaining. What's bargaining? Well, if I do this or if I do that, maybe I'll do this part-time, maybe I'll figure out, maybe I'll offer discount fees, how do I bargain to figure out, stop the bargaining. And then the next one goes in, it's going to say what? Once you hit that, you go to another D, depression. Fine. 3 years to retirement. I'll gut it out. I'll get there, and I won't be happy about it. That wall refuses you to spend a lot of time in depression. The shout outs, the fill my bucket, I think is what you call it, says there is no time for this depression. You got to get to acceptance. And I'm here today, and that's the last stage, that's stage 5, it's acceptance. I want you all to get to acceptance with me right now. And if you're sitting here and you're going, I can't get to acceptance, Steve, that's not where I am, I'm so depressed, I can't even smile when you're looking at me and in my face like this, smile, thank you very much. But when you go in and you say, how do I get to acceptance? I want you to accept something with me right now, which is what I'm going to tell you helps. Accept the fact that we're in a crazy market, and to get through it, what we need to do is have discipline. This is the time that discipline counts. This is the time when you have to have a plan, when you have to follow your process. See, plan counts more than ever. So I don't know if you're a core person. If you're a core person and you're like, get on the core plan. You gotta go get on that plan right now and follow it hardcore. That's where we are. We can dabble. We can do our own thing when things are really good. But when things get tough, that's when we have to go back to that initial discipline. Accept that. And I want you to accept a couple things with me, how I think I can help you not just get to acceptance, but thrive in the market of where we're going. Is that fair for everybody? Is that what you came here to talk about? All right, let's rock, let's roll, let's make it happen. Cap. By the way, you want to take notes, take notes. You don't, doesn't matter much to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send a copy of the presentation out to everybody, so you're all going to get it anyway. All right? So let's see, I'm going to go like that, huh? Save some trees. Oh, he wasn't going to take notes anyway. So what we look at is right now, I'm going to go like that, and I'm Gabriella, and I'm going to go like that, and go to the next one. Now look, what is your name, dude? Emmett? Emmett? That's Emmett. So Emmett, how long have you been in the business? About 3 years, I think. What did you do before the business? That sounds fascinating. I know, I'm like, Mosaic Phosphate Fertilizer Company. Is that something that any of us know anything about? Not me right here. Were you a salesperson for? What did you do for?
Built pipelines, heavy industrial maintenance.
I'm going to tell you we're still part of sales. Why? Everything we do is sales, because all we're doing is when we're helping other people, we're selling. We're trying to accomplish it. So you were part of that actual sales team. You were working with the phosphate, the Mosaic. What we know about sales is there's two transactional sales and there's relationship-based sales. You've all heard that. You've heard that before, right? What's transactional? What transactional is, transactional comes in and says, this is what I got, this is what it costs, you want it, fantastic, have a nice day, let's rock, let's roll, let's get to it, right? Very quick, let's go. Relationship-based, what's relationship say? Oh, no. I'm going to customize, craft, and create a solution. I'm going to ask you multiple questions, figure out what works for you. You're going to like the solution so much, look at that, I'm going to knock your socks off. I'll say, I already did it, you're not wearing any socks. Now, I know I'm in Keller Williams, and I know when I ask every single person in this room, and I say, hey, are you transactional? Mm-hmm. Are you guys relationship-based sales? Raise your hand if you're relationship-based sales person. Emmett, I'm telling you, you're in sales. Raise your hand. Okay. Yeah. It's like, I'm still back doing fertilizer. All right, that's where we are. So when when I look at this, yeah, it's all about relationship. And I gotta tell you something, you're wrong. And I know that's a hard thing to swallow, it's a hard thing to say, and you're all of a sudden gonna hate me. The guy, look at him, he's got his arms crossed right now. It looks like he's gonna drag me out in the parking lot and beat me up, all right? Look at that guy, he's unbelievable. Because you're all thinking, what? Business is all about building relationships. Yeah, but what are relationships built on? Trust. That's wrong. See, the reason I say that that's wrong is we're going to get to trust. But what's your name?
Cheryl.
Cheryl? You ever have somebody say, trust me? What do you do the minute somebody says, trust me? You don't. So stop telling me it's built on trust. Trust happens later. You know what relationships are built upon? Relationships are built upon transactions. See, you said your name's Cheryl. Is that what you said? I want to make sure you didn't lie.
No.
Okay. Cheryl, you're a real estate agent?
Yes.
Yes. Have you had anybody ever come up to you and say, wait, what's the listing price of that house? Yes. Is that a relationship-based question or a transaction-based question? See what just happened there? We keep saying it's all about the relationship. It's about the relationship. I'm not saying the relationship isn't important. I'm saying don't you dare forget about that transaction. Don't you dare forget about that transaction. Why? Sharp-dressed man, what's your name?
Ramirez.
Ramirez. Okay, I say it very quickly and nobody can understand what I said either. Okay, Ramirez. I just have a quick question for you. Average person in the United States of America is going to own how many homes within their lifetime?
5. 4.
There you go, 4, okay? Well, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Average person in the United States of America does what? They move every 9 years. They move every 9 years. Average person in the United States of America, when they move within a 15-mile radius. They move within a 15-mile radius, so they're hanging out here in Tampa. They ain't going anywhere, right? This is National Association of Realtors data. So that's where we are. So what we're looking at is, here's what happens. If we mess up the first transaction, we have no relationship to get the second, the third, the fourth transaction. You ever bought a car?
Yes.
You ever walk in and say, I'm looking for a relationship with this guy? No, hell's to the no, right? No. So you can't just say it's about it's all about the transaction, the relationship. Stop it. You don't want a relationship. They came to you to what? Can you help me buy or sell a home? I'll take it one step further. Go to my friend here with the white jacket. What's your name?
Honey.
Honey, I got a question for you, honey. Can you cook that for me? You ever bought anything at a place called Amazon.com? What's the last thing you bought at a place called Amazon.com that you don't mind telling these other people about?
A replacement burner for my gas range.
A replacement burner for my gas range. Who's the person who packed that for you? Who's the person who delivered it for you? What's their name? Folks, Amazon.com is teaching every single person across the world to be what? Transaction-based and not relationship-based. And you're sitting back there, honey, go, but it's what? No. They want to have a relationship with me. Hold on. Honey, have we ever talked? No. But when that was happening, the reason I'm talking to you right now is I actually hacked her account. What I did was I went onto her computer as she was sitting there. I was over there. You might not have seen me, but I hacked her account. Don't look at me. Look at honey. Because what I'm going to do, honey, you look at the screen. You all look at her. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to put where she actually shots up on the screen. Go look at her and see if I'm right or wrong. Go ahead, Gabrielle. Is that where you got?
Oh,
Yeah. See, what happens is Amazon said, hey, honey, want to buy a burner for a grill? Was that a good transaction for you? Great. Do you want to buy, just because I like your glasses, do you want to buy a cool pair of glasses? Yes, that's great for you. Hi, we had 3 good transactions. Hey, honey, how about we get in a relationship? Because if you think about it, you know who really wants the relationship? The business, not the customer. The business is the one that wants the relationship. So they said to honey, now that we have had a positive transaction, how about you give me a little bit of money and I'll give you free shipping? Why don't you give me a little bit of money, I'll give you free movies. Honey. Let me hold on to your credit card. You can trust me because we're in a relationship. See, this is what we need to figure out, because when we go to that next slide, what do we see? We want that transaction. They came here, you've already told me, they came here, can you help me buy or sell a house? We want that transaction to go so good that they want the relationship. What do we call that? We call that a translationship, trademark pending. Okay, so we're gonna make that transaction so good that they're gonna wanna have that relationship. We combine those two things. It's even more important in today's world that we look at translationship, because what? Actually, we're becoming more and more transactional every single day because of the online concept, and COVID certainly hasn't helped when it comes to relationships. It's really kept us apart. So that's the first thing, which takes us to the second thing. Now, every customer is going to walk in and they're going to say, why should I do business with you? Why should I do business with your company? I mean, come on, tell me what's going on here. And I heard you say all of a sudden earlier, oh, well, they do business with us because they like us. I mean, I heard that. Yeah, sort of, kind of. You know what every single customer wants? Oh, they want customer service. Never say customer service. We're good at customer service. Oh, please stop that. Why? Have you ever heard anybody say, we're really not good at customer service? So the fact that you say you're good at customer service just said, I'm as good, I'm like everybody else. What I want you to say is, what are the three things that every customer wants? Well, there's three things up there, please. They want speed, quality, and reasonable price. No one has ever said, slow down. Honey said, listen, Amazon, 2-day free delivery, not fast enough. I need same-day delivery. We live in a land of speed right now. Speed is hypercritical right now. We also live in quality. If you're somebody who's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care what social media you're on, please, for the love of God, I ask you 10 times over before you publish anything, please proofread it 3 times. Because the number one way to get somebody to look at your post is to make mistakes and typos on your post. But what that does is it represents you in a bad light. Because what ends up happening is, why on earth would I trust you to do this contract on the most important purchase, the biggest purchase of my life, when you can't even put the difference when you have dyslexic thumbs when you're typing and you're tweeting out there. Please make sure you have your quality there, and it only has to be reasonably priced. It's got to be lowest price. No, it doesn't. Stop. I'll talk about that in a minute. Then, after we get those 3, put the next 3 up there, please. Then it's know you, like you, and trust you. The reason that like comes later is because if you're slow and you give me bad quality, I won't like you. So what happens, click it one time, when I look at the transaction that's sitting right there, through the transaction, that's how I got to know you, like you, and trust you. And trust, as we heard, comes last, because what is it? That's what's earned through everything else. So we click it 2 more times and we see that's translationship, so that's the second thing I want to talk about, and we did it 1 more time. Now you said it's all about reasonable price. Stop it. I love the fact that this guy, I got Tommy 2 phones over here. He's got his iPad, he's got his phone. He's like, I'm Marcus, hear me roar. How many of you, it's all about price, man. I got these discount agents out there. I got all this stuff. How many of you have a phone? How many of y'all got phones? How many of you are on Cricket? Why not? It's all about price. Every single one in this room should be on Cricket. It's the cheapest. What's so good? Oh, so it's not just about price. Bad example. Stop something. What's your name? You like beer? How many of you like beer? Everybody look. How many of you drink this? PBR. How many of you drink that? Why not? It's cheap, but it ain't good. Right? Think about this. Let me ask. What, you like PBR?
It's my grandmother's favorite. And I'm not joking, she's 101 years old.
I know. You know what she is? She's permanently embalmed right now, because that's what that stuff is. That is not beer, that's embalming fluid, right? I mean, that's what we're looking at right there. Okay, fine. But do you do that? Come on. I saw your parking lot out there. What do you not have? Nobody's driving one of those. You call that thing a no-no, not a nano. You got insurance? Do you have insurance with this guy? Don't tell me if you do. Did you eat dinner last night? Did you eat here? Taco Bell? Why not? I didn't have no PBR. She eats there every night. And I understand that. So what we're looking at is, if it was all about price, we'd all be doing this. We're not doing this, so stop telling me it's all about price, except that that's what the market is, which takes me to the next one. So when we look at this next slide, here's what happened. We're getting shopped all the time, man. We're getting shopped. I can't stand getting shopped. It's unbelievable. Question, what's your name? Kelly. Musician out there. Well, not anymore, he just died like 3 months ago. His name's Meatloaf. You ever heard of him, Kelly? Kelly, I gotta know right now. Tell me what his most famous song is.
Gotta know it.
I gotta know right now. Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. What's his second most famous song? Second most famous song is what? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So if everybody wants speed, quality, and reasonably pricing, you're getting shopped, let me tell you something. The competition, they're missing one of those 3. And that's what you hit on. And that's what you excel at. Because what happens is, it's very hard to be all 3. Think about it. When we look at it, you ever hit at, what? You ever eat at McDonald's? Is it fast? It is the definition of fast food. Is it reasonably priced? It's actually priced pretty darn good. How's that quality? Depending on how, but that's the point. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, you ever eat at Capitol Grill? How fast are they? Not very. Good quality? Yeah. How's the price? Woo! Right? So you got to figure out what's truly important when you're ever comparing yourself to somebody else. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Now, when we look at this, go through like, stop. Stop telling me, we've got great rates, great products, great customer service. Stop it. Everybody says that. I want to know how you're different. That's what you got to tell me. How are you different? Why should I do business with you and not you? Well, because you're a lender and you're a real estate agent. But how should I do business with you and not you? Right? I don't know. So you got to tell me what makes you different, not just from the other people in this room, but from the other. Who's been in this business for less than 2 years? This is going to be huge for you. Okay? Listen. Because what happens is the first thing when you say you're different, can you put that for me? It's got to be provable or measurable. Stop telling me you're fast. Tell me your turn time is 7 days. Stop telling me, oh, I help first-time home buyers. Tell me that you helped 72 first-time home buyers last year. Now, if you say I'm new to this, and go, I didn't help 72 first-time home buyers last year. The beauty is you are within an organization, within a company that did. So you get to adopt their numbers, 72, and say, my office did 72 first-time home buyers last year. So the minute that you can't talk about yourself, you talk about your office. That's for the newbies that are out there, right? For the ones that have been doing this for a while, you plug in what your numbers are. Then the next one is what? The next one is it has to be talkable. There you go. We have a tendency, we talk about due diligence and escrows. You might as well be talking Swahili. I don't know what due diligence and escrow means. You got to make it talkable to the people that you're talking to so that they understand it. And the way that you make it talkable to them is when we click on the next one is you make it feelable for them. Hi, this is what's going to happen. Let me walk you through the process. This is how it's going to affect you. How does that make you feel? Once we do that, what have we done? We've now separated ourselves from the competition. Which takes me to the next thing, because we're going to say, hey, when we separate ourselves from the competition, how do I do that? This is called a SWOT analysis. I already told you that I've spoken in every state in the United States of America to over 350,000 people. I don't care if I talk to an individual. Here goes, he's looking at me right now. I see it in your face right there. What's your name? Chris. You know what Chris just looked at me and said? How much coffee did that guy have to drink before he came in? Right? That's exactly what you were just thinking, because I felt myself rambling too. What I have to say to you is I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. What I drink is clear. Vodka. So what happens is, anytime I go, it's actually liver. And anytime I work with a company or an individual, I do what's called a SWOT analysis. Folks, if you've never heard this, and do it for yourself often, and do it for your company. S, what are your strengths? S, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? W, S-W-O-T. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Where do I see opportunity? O, opportunity, and what's threatening my business? S-W-O-T. Now here's what happens. We all go, oh my God, I can't have any weaknesses. I have to correct my weaknesses. I have to make my weaknesses my strengths. Stop it. You know what you do when it comes to weaknesses? You partner with somebody who's strong in that area and you let them compensate for your weaknesses. See, you know what makes a weakness is it means that somebody else is better at it than you. So therefore, if all you do is concentrate on your weaknesses, all you will become is as good as them. I'm not saying ignore your weaknesses and the threats, but you better start looking at your strengths. Because when you leverage your strengths, you find opportunities where your competition is not. I'll say that again. When you leverage your strengths, you find opportunities where your competition is not. I'm in the mortgage business, which means I'm supposed to be good at math. The most important word in that sentence was what? Supposed to be. I don't like math. It ain't for me. Now, if I say, well, I gotta go learn math so I can be like everybody else, that's only gonna be what? I'm gonna be like them. I think I'm a good public speaker. Some of you might disagree. But what I find is most people say, I hate public speaking. I hate standing up in front of a room. You know what? Because I figured, and I'm playing off of one of my strengths, I now have the opportunity to have this conversation with each and every person in this room, which my competition does not have, for that very reason. So you have to find those strengths. And quite frankly, if you're not looking at your strengths, because your strengths are the things you probably enjoy, therefore you're going to dislike your job if all you're ever doing is figuring out the stuff that you're weak at, because what you're weak at, you probably don't enjoy all that much. So look at those strengths and make those happen for you. Which then says, well, we have to have knowledge. And I think I saw back there at Keller Williams, we don't believe in learning for no one's sake. Got a question. I read the room. Is knowledge power? Yep. Wrong. Knowledge is not power. You know what? It's how you use your knowledge is where you get your power. Simply having the knowledge is not powerful at all. You better do something with it, because if you don't do anything with it, who really cares? Some of the most smartest people I know are not the most successful people I know, because they just say, I read another book and now I'm going back home. We need to do something with that knowledge. So let me give you some knowledge and we'll talk about what to do with it. Number one, we'll know what's going on in the mortgage world. You got to go to Rob Richman. Hold on tight right there. It's okay, don't know. It's up. But RobRichman.com, #1 mortgage blog in the United States of America. Comes out 6 days a week. It's free. It's always going to be free. You're a real estate agent, don't worry about it. The Van Dyke people sitting next to you in this room, they know what's going on in mortgages, but if you like to double check it all, go right there. You care about the economy? Of course you care about the economy. Go to econ70.com. Guy named Elliot Eisenberg, he comes out Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, absolutely free at Econ70. He says, this is what happened in the economy today, and he does it in 70 words or less. You like that? Sometimes he's got pictures. Okay, so there you go, right? 70 words or less, it's real concise, you're good to go. Check that out. It comes out about 11 o'clock at night, so I actually read it the next morning, because I try to go to bed by 11, because this takes a lot of work. Okay, so when we look at the next one, what's our next one? This is great. This is FHFA.gov. At FHFA.gov, it tells you what's going on in housing. Click it for me again. What's it going to tell you is that right now, in the United States of America, home values are up 17.5%, but in Florida, they're up 25.6%. And I know there's a guy named Gary or something who's having a conversation with you at 12 o'clock today. I'm not going to get deep into it. Here's some high-level numbers. But what I'm going to say is, well, I don't care about Florida. I care about Tampa. So I click it, and I can then go from city to city. There we go. Tampa, your home values are up 25.7 over the past year. They're up 5.5 over the past quarter. They're up 82% over the past 5 years. And since 1991, they're up over 400%. You ever heard this question? You know, become the boss. Well, why? What are you thinking? Waiting for rock bottom? Missed it. Okay, so what happens is, when we're able to look at it and show them the actual numbers behind it, it makes a whole lot more sense that's happening right there. Now, hold on, don't go off this. So this updates once a quarter. I ain't coming back. Where are most of you going to go? Most of you are going to go to FHFA.com. What will you find there? Bunch of naked people, because that's an inappropriate site. I'm sending you to FHFA.gov. Make sure you, Emmett's like, I'm taking notes now. All right, yeah, I got you, brother. I know where you are. Okay, so that's where we are when we make that happen, and I appreciate it. So we click on to the next one right there. That's the whole thing of Tampa. We're in North Tampa here. That's totally different than Old Tampa and South Tampa and Ybor Tampa and whatever you want to call it. Go to homefacts.com. When I go to homefacts.com, what happens? I can plug in any city, any zip code, any county that I want across the United States of America. I will automatically, I put in Tampa, but I could just put in a zip code. Your schools are good, your crime rate's pretty darn good too. Environmental hazards, you got some of them, and your unemployment's all right. Click it again. I can show you right now, actually, let me just run through this one. I'm gonna go to this so quick every, no, don't go far, don't go far. So we're looking at our inventory. I can tell you what's vacant, what isn't. I can show you what's going on with rent. I can show you who's unemployed, who is employed. I can show you what kind of job they have. I can tell you who's male, who's female. I can tell you a lot of you are 25 to 34 years old. I can give you a racial breakdown. I can tell you a decent amount of you are now married. Why do I care? It's the number one indicator of who's going to purchase a home is marital status. Because in today's world, you need 2 incomes to qualify for that home, so that's what we're looking at. We're not watching as many single people purchase homes today. I can tell you how much money you're making in the Tampa area. And then a lot of your homes were built between 2000 and 2009. So you now have all that and your mortgage and your rent stats that's sitting there free, every single zip code in the United States of America. All right. Sean says, but he's going to tell you these apps, man, they're really cool. See, it's not just knowing this stuff, it's what are you going to do with it. Share these apps with your customers, they're going to love them. Here's something called Magic Plan. You know what Magic Plan is? Magic Plan lets you go like this. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Let me go this, look at me. Magic Plan lets you go like this. It tells you the dimensions of the room you're staying in. It takes a 3D picture of that room, and not only that, you can now drag and drop and create the entire floor plan for that room. So you can, the floor plan for that house, so they know exactly what you're looking at. Not only that, you know what it does? Check this out. It will tell you how many gallons of paint it will take to paint that room.
Wow.
I guess I should leave now, they like that. But can you follow what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, hey, let me tell you what's going on in real estate, here's what's going on with the market. Let me tell you how many gallons of paint it's gonna take to paint that room now that you just bought that house. Totally different. When we look at the next app, what's the next app? I don't know, there we go. No, back one, HomeSnap. What's HomeSnap? Walk up to any house, you click on it, it will tell you what the square footage is, what year the house was built, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what school it goes to, everything you need to know about sitting right there. They also just changed it. Now you can walk the property boundary so that you can say, ooh, this, don't tell somebody it's a third of an acre, say it stops right here. What a big difference that is so that they'll understand that. This next one, do you do your, what's your name? Veronique. Do you do your own marketing by any stretch of the imagination? Do you ever do marketing? Yes. Yeah. You're gonna love Remove BG. What's Remove BG? This removes the background. You can take any picture you want, and all of a sudden it gets rid of the background. So if you want to have a picture of you and you take a picture, you won't have all this stuff back here. All you'll see is you. You got a house, take a picture of a house, it has a dead tree in the back, go to remove.bg, you no longer have a dead tree in the back because it removes the entire background. Pretty cool stuff. I use this one all the time. What's the next one? I don't know. Oh, Project Depot's home color. Excuse me. Home Depot's project color. A little dyslexia right there. Huh? Too much vodka. Maybe not enough. So when we look at what project color is, see what happens is when people move, what do? They take their sofa with them. They take their bedspread with them. And now they're in a house and they're going, well, I have this furniture and it doesn't match that wall. Instead of saying, hey, what color should I paint and therefore I have to get new furniture to match that, you take a picture of the bedspread, you take a picture of the couch, and then it will say, based upon that couch and the colors in that couch, here's every color of paint at the Home Depot that will match your couch. And you know what you just did? You now know how many gallons of paint they should buy because you already used the other app to figure out how many gallons, and now you know what color it should fit. What's our next one right there? How many of you have pets? How many of you like your pets like more than anybody else in your family? Okay, yeah, I got it. So if you really want to do something worthwhile for your customers, every quarter type in 15 best apps for pet owners or dog owners or whatever. You know what you just came up with? 15 social media posts to be able to put out there and go, here's a new one, here's a new one. Every Monday, here's another app for these pet owners, and now you're talking about what's important to them. Click it again, we're gonna, this one we're gonna do, and then we're gonna go off the next one. So, anybody ever have used the Slice app? If you ever want a piece of pizza, it doesn't matter where you are. You go to the app that's called Slice, it will say this is where the closest piece of pizza is, and you can order it right there off the app. Totally cool. Totally irrelevant. This is called recruit and slice. What is recruit and slice? Recruit and slice basically says, we know what happens. When you go buy a house, you're gonna make, honey, you're gonna make what? 15 orders on Amazon, 3 orders on Wayfair, 2 at Bed Bath & Beyond, 1 at the Home Depot. Do we all agree with that? You're ordering from everywhere. What recruit and slice does for you is it compiles all that stuff. It looks at all your emails and says, okay, here's all the deliveries that you have scheduled, what time they're coming, when they're coming, and where they're coming from. So instead of having to look at each site separately to track your orders, it does it all for you in one place. Is your customer going to love you for that? They're going to love you for that, because what you do, you just made their life that much easier. So that's just a couple things that we can look at. I do want to spend 1 minute on this crazy town, and then I'm going to wrap everything up. We didn't get to everything because we started a little and had some conversation. How you doing? Big guy in the back. I'm doing good. How you doing? What's your name?
Chaz.
Chaz. Chaz. Chaz, you ever been to a place called Crazy Town?
Live with a wife, so yes, every day.
Now let me guess, she's not in this room right now. That's why you said that. So,
I'll
all
tell her.
right, yeah, I'm not gonna tell her I said that, right? So, Chaz, here's what happens, and we're all living in crazy right now. We're living in Crazy Town. We're living in it. Stop. See, what happens is we gotta get off the ladder and stop going to Crazy Town, because what happens? You see or you hear something. There you go. You see or you hear something. And after you see or you hear something, what do? You have a reaction. You tell yourself that story. Your mind starts going, and then you have what? An emotional reaction to it. You have feelings about it, and then you do what? You act on those emotions. You ever heard this? I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Paz, you ever heard I'll call you back in 10 minutes?
Sure, I've heard it today.
Sure, already heard today. And what happened? It's 11 minutes, man. They haven't called me back. I can't believe they haven't called me back. Why haven't they called me back? It's been 11 minutes. There's no inventory out there. I can't believe they're shopping me around. Why would they shop me around? You gotta be kidding me. I've been working with this person for 6 months, and they're gonna be shopping home now. It's 12 minutes, and they still haven't called me back. They got a lot of nerve. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm fixing all this stuff for them, and they're being able to do that, and they're not gonna call me back. And we got this whole market that's as crazy can be, and my wife's gonna leave. See, what happens is, we never say, they didn't call me back. I bet you they're planning a surprise party for me. It's gonna be epic. We all immediately go to, here's the worst case scenario, it's all gonna fall apart. My comment is, in this time of craziness, please stop telling yourself a story and wait till you have the factual information in front of you. Most people say, don't act on your feelings. Are you kidding me? I've already climbed the ladder. I'm there. Hear me roar. I've already invested to get all the way up here, so my actions are going to be based upon my feelings. My comment is, if you can step off the ladder down low and tell yourself a negative story, that's going to make your life that much more better. Why do I say that? I'm going to tell you a story about a guy. This guy's name is Zach. Zach happens to be my son. Zach is at his first real job post-college. Zach is 25 years old. Zach calls me up and says the following. Dad, boss called him and says, what's the conversation at 3 o'clock? Do you think he's gonna fire me? So did you do something that he should fire you for? He says, no. I said, then stop telling yourself you're getting fired. You're making yourself upset. You're destroying your entire day. We're back to what? Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. We start doing what? I'm in that depression zone. I'm in that anger zone. Because of what? Because something that's not factually true. You know what actually happened? They said they're expanding his team, and now he's going to be managing 2 other people. Not paying them anymore, but at least they know there's something's happening, all right? It's still better than getting fired. But if he's telling himself, hey, oh man, I'm going to get fired today, blah, 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 what's he going to do? He's getting emotional, he's getting upset, and everybody he's dealing with that day is going to get that burden thrown onto them. Get off that ladder and stop doing it. Now, I was told to shut up right now. I was told it's 11:55, no more words coming out of this now. So let me ask you this question. Do you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns about anything we talked about today, anything we didn't talk about today, or anything you wish we had talked about today? Let me ask you this, since all of you are like, oh my God, the guy scares me. was this, and I've been speaking for 42 minutes. Was this 42 minutes well spent? Or you feel you got something out of it? My goal, my objective is I'm going to come back and hang out with you people another time. We'll do some more of this kind of stuff, because I want to come back, because I did things like you took me to a nice thing. So I definitely want to come back. Now, what they want is, if this was worthwhile for you, hey man, just talk to your Van Dyke person, hang out with them. They have all these apps, all this information. There's a difference between being a partner and being a vendor. And a partner's trying to do what? A whole lot more than give you some great rates, great products, and great customer service. And that's what we're trying to accomplish. That being said, we also want to give you something else. We want to give you this basket that we're raffling off right now. I have no idea. I'll get it. I'm walking anyway. So what's going to happen is, this is going to, we're going to just throw it around. I know you're not going to pick yourself, mister. Pick the person who you think is awesome, because you're getting a basket. Yeah, I'll have my glasses on. You're going to have to do that.
Oh, wonderful. The last three is 184.
I think I won it.
I'm going to deliver to you by Amazon.com. Yeah, okay. Yeah, can we pass that back to her?
It's all Van Dyke Prime.
It's all Thank you so much. Folks, this is going to be emailed out to you. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to hang out with y'all for a little bit this morning. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Maryland.
What?
What?
Right?
Nice.
They were designed specifically for
I
you.
know, it was meant to be.
We have lunch for everybody. Hope you guys can stay for Gary at 12:30. If our guests can go first, start from back there, run down the line, come back, eat, and wait for Gary. Thanks everybody for coming. Great to see everybody in the office.
Thank you.
It's frustrating. I'm in from my garden in a Ziploc. It's really nice.
Yeah, I had my.
I have rice. Make sure we have
The only one I didn't get was the slice. Oh my gosh. I'm feeling
What about that app we have on there?
Exactly.
This, what I'm saying.
We had a lot.
Like literally, I gotta turn my hot water on. Never got back to I knew when she took a long time what they got it. I was like, she was to figure out her response.
After those conversations,
Thank you so much. So glad you came.
I'm looking to say to that, let's go look at it in our
I do still.
I mean, I would have out there, so now I'm like, okay, let's look at it. And still look, still, but. Some of them really good.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes, this is the, but we're now out of town, like we're allowed to.
I didn't win. I know. You didn't win. I know.
And every time somebody's like.
No too much.
We happy with that? I love it.